doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Yeah, People's Radio United. Oh man, what's up? We're back to People's Weekly. I'm here with Canadian Glenn. What's up, Glenn?
People's Radio United. I know that guy.
Yeah. You know what my issue is? I'm hoping I'm not peaking and the audio's cool, because on the equipment, everything looks really cool, but Spreaker, it looks like it's peaking. But the problem with that is Spreaker always looks like it's peaking. For anybody who hasn't, the few people who haven't listened to this show religiously for the last however long we've been on here. Yeah. It's crazy, man. You had issues, I had issues. Go ahead, what?
The bottom line, the TLDR version is, in reality, when you use a platform like Spreaker, it doesn't matter what you do to the signal you send them, because they'll do whatever they want with it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on bandwidth and other stuff, too.
Yeah, they're just dicks.
That's what it is.
Cinchcast. A pile of revenue for turn-of-the-century technology. Pay up.
People's Radio United. People's Radio United.
It doesn't look like... It just looks like everything's peaking. But I can clearly see on these... On everything else that we have some things higher than others, but nothing's peaking. But anyway... We've done our 5 minutes of technology for today's show. So yeah, I guess in LA here, stupid Mike. I guess in LA here, there's, they have all these anti-mask rallies. They got all these whack job QAnon religious zealot Nazi motherfuckers out here saying, it's just like Nazi Germany when they tell me I have to get vaccinated and wear a mask. So the other day, I guess the police, the LAPD, 3 or 4 cops went out there with a banner and all their full police gear, probably on the taxpayer's dime, to go protest. And that's against so many LAPD policies, man. I'm just like, fire the motherfuckers. I don't understand what the whole holdup is. There's no religion that says don't get a vaccine. I mean, are they all Jehovah's Witness?
No,
I don't think so.
That doesn't even matter, because I read a thread on Twitter yesterday from a Canadian woman that said, this thread is going to talk about all these claims of religious exemption. And she ran the entire gamut from the Pope to the Dalai Lama to big imams and muftis to people who are high up in the Sikh religion, in the Hindu religion. None of them said there is anything in our beliefs that compels you to refuse a vaccination. Absolutely nothing. It's all bullshit.
I mean, there are some wacky religions like Jehovah's Witness and some other ones that...
Even the Jehovah's and the Mormons. Even Jehovah Witness
really?
And the Mormons. Yep.
Because they can't even get like blood transfusions.
Yeah, but that's getting blood from somebody else. This isn't coming from somebody else. It's coming out of a vial.
Oh, I see. I did not know that. I thought it was just a whole medical thing. Because you're supposed to trust God's going to heal you, right?
Well, yeah, that's just it. You know, it's like if you get injured and you're bleeding out and you need a transfusion and you're a Jehovah's Witness, well, it's God's will that you bleed out. But that's an event that happened, you know, with a physical effect. They seem to look at something like COVID as not visible, not preventable, you know, and they're just like, we're not going to be the only fucking idiots out here. No, get it done.
A couple of weeks ago, I was in court. I beat the case, thank you. And when I was walking to the court, because I had to park down the street, there was a fire truck out front with the lights on, just parked in the street in front of the court. And then the firefighters came out, 4 dudes. Not one of them had a mask on, and they outside under the awning because it was raining, talking to the sheriffs who also didn't have masks on. Some of the security didn't have masks on. Then they all walked and happily got in their fire truck with no masks and drove the fuck off. I'm going into stores, man, where the people working don't have masks. They got customers without masks. I mean,
but yet we have all these. Well, we have all these idiots that are screaming that this is Nazi Germany because of everything everybody's forced to do. Pfft. What a joke! Because I'll tell you what, back in Germany in the 30s, you didn't see SA hanging out on the streets breaking the rules. It was like the opposite. If every cop in America had on a mask and a shield all the time, then that's what fascist enforcement looks like.
Well, they flip it. They flip it. They claim this is just we're leading toward fascism. And these are the fascists saying it. These are the people that will go to white supremacist Trump rallies and, you know, hate and critical race democracy theory. It's going to destroy our children. And, you know, they say things that sound just like the 14 words, but they're just a little off.
13 and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the kind of people, man. Yeah, I came across. Let's get into this real quick. We'll just spend a couple minutes on it, not like a whole thing. But I came across this thing, what was it called? The 10 Stages of Genocide? Some ultra right-wing, religious, weirdo, right-wing Christian, what was it, a handout pamphlet or something? It was like 10 pages long, talking about basically trying to compare people who refuse to get vaccinated or wear masks. They're comparing them to like Martin Luther King Jr. and you know,
Panthers.
Cesar Chavez. What?
Panthers.
Yeah, they're like all the civil rights groups in the 60s are comparing themselves to that. And the people who are saying you have to wear a mask and get vaccinated are making this exactly in their words like Nazi Germany. And they do these like crazy, amazing like mental gymnastics to try to explain it all with some kind of logic. Flawed logic, but whatever. Extremely flawed logic. But that kind of stuff is going around everywhere right now.
Yeah, there's no shortage of different versions, all trying to preach the same end goal. Some are more plainly obvious than others, and some are much better written than others. But the one you're talking about, I mean, people should be familiar with the 14 signs of fascism. Well, here we have the 10 stages of genocide. They are amazingly similar in title. But when we talked about this before, I still agree that the easiest way to prove that this is a scam and a swerve and a recruitment tool for people who are not intelligent enough to determine left from right, they mention a problem, you know, like classification, symbolization, systemic discrimination. Yeah, these are all present in fascism, but just go to the end of their each little stage where they have a solution. And that's where they give it away. Because that's where they just completely blow shit out of the water and tell you up is down.
Yeah, it's stuff like they say, oh, everything, they say everything, they're trying to divide everybody, just like they did when they said slaves were less of people. So now they're comparing people who don't want to get vaccinated to slaves.
Yeah.
And then they say communists divided on economic and party lines. I'm trying to kind of glance through. Catholics in the Dark Ages divided on religious tenets. Calling Protestants heretics who are corrupt. See, the Protestants are never the problem in this whole 10-page thing. Muslims divide on religious beliefs. Non-Muslims are infidels who are opposed to Allah. European and American slavers. Nazis divided by race. Africans and Jews are less evolved, and it will corrupt the gene pool. Whatever the division, the methods of those dividing are the same. Find some element to divide people. So they're saying this. They're doing the same thing with the vaccine. That's what these wackadoos are saying.
Well, this is it. When they say forced identification by group, and they are immediately assuming that anti-vax, COVID hoax, these people deserve the same status as African slaves brought to the United States, the same status as Jews in Nazi Germany. Like, fuck off. Says the solution is by refusing the governmental ID programs and refuse as businesses and individuals to support these programs. We refuse to require it. Yeah, so all of a sudden they don't want anybody to be identified by any, group.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute. We're the assholes. Well, let's sing Kumbaya. We're all the same. Fuck you. You're not.
Let me just tell you, let's just skip to the ending and then we can go back because I want people to know how crazy these motherfuckers are. The beast of revelation is rising, but it is not rising to do evil. It is rising to do quote-unquote justice, to quote-unquote save lives, to make society better, safer, make us healthier, protect us from ourselves, from climate change, from pandemics. The question is, are you going along with the beast? Are you buying into the propaganda? Are you embracing the methods of God's enemy? You see where we're going here now?
Yep.
It is about the character you are developing by the methods you choose to practice, your treatment. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. I missed some. Control, the overthrow of liberty, the reshaping of society, and the rise of satanic forces. Then it is about the character you are developing by the methods you choose to practice in your treatment of others. God's kingdom is a kingdom of truth, love, and liberty. Those on God's side will practice these methods and develop a character like Jesus. But those who are seeking justice, seeking to do right while embracing the methods of this world, who practice the methods of Satan's kingdom, will harden their hearts and corrupt their characters, all while claiming they are merely trying to save lives. I implore you to choose God now, choose his truth, love, liberty, and reject the beastly methods of this world. Now this is about wearing a mask and getting a vaccine, y'all. These people are fucking insane.
Now, there are probably some listeners that make the same connection I do, but you read that, and to me, it's written by somebody who writes this shit like every second day and sends it out in an email, and he just happens to be the guy who runs Gab. Andrew Torba. This is the exact garbage that is wall to wall on Gab, and it's coming from their director. Their CEO is putting this stuff out. So, and he's making money. Gab got hacked. Gab got deplatformed. Gab's still out there. Gab is making as much money now as they ever did. Gab has their own merch. And it's all based on this Christian fascist fairy tale. You know, like you're reading that out, and I'm thinking, anybody who believes that, who was born in a Christian society, do you guys have any idea what goes on in places like Iran and ISIS? It's the exact same shit, but it's in either Farsi or Arabic. It's the same. It's the same message.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, the Islamic Brotherhood knows what's up.
Yeah, well, that's a slip of the tongue.
No, I don't think so. I think she's just like, yay, we all have the same things we want. We want to live in a I can't even think of the word right now. Theocracy.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking I'm peaking here. I'm getting like, oh, so if I'm peaking today, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get it fixed. I'll listen back. But
that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, because Glenn just had a major issue, and I added a mixer, and I haven't finished hooking everything up. So I'm kind of with the old setup right now, but everything got knocked around and faders got moved, and yeah, so I'll tune it back in again and get it to like half-ass where it was before. But yeah, man, these people are insane. But the problem is there's another virus besides COVID going around, and it's called QAnon. And believe it or not, it's everywhere, Glenn. Like, no, I mean, the white religious Jesus churches, they adopting a whole lot of QAnon stuff. The Mormons, some of them have crazy QAnon beliefs. I've seen black cats walking around that are Muslims with QAnon beliefs.
Yeah, I know, but we just went through this thing about how they compare it to actual realities and then just bend it to fit what they want to say. You know?
Yeah, like they won't believe all. They'll just have a little thing they say, and I'm like, wow, that's straight QAnon shit. But they totally believe that there's one thing. You know what I mean? It's spread like a virus. And that shit's dangerous.
Yeah, but, you know, there are those that say if it wasn't this particular path into the forest, it would just be another one, you know? Because there's just too many fucking stupid people out there these days.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, this is it. I mean, like before we went on air, we're talking, I mean, we'll get into it about how people who are supposedly paid with public money to protect the public think they don't have to get vaccinated during a pandemic. But it's just so unbelievably, you can't connect the dots that got us here. Really, you can't. Because it's not that long ago that polio disappeared. And nobody really understands the numbers. I mean, they used to say it was fairly common to be born with the polio gene or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is exactly. But it was prevalent for a problem with those kind of results. But it was never like 20% or anything like that. It was under 5%.
Yeah.
And the polio vaccine, which supposedly eliminated polio, nothing's ever fully eliminated. There are still polio cases that happen. You can count them on your fingers, but they still happen. So, I mean, all this talk of an absolute, you know, it doesn't exist in the real scientific world. But the more cooperative and uniform people can be about something like this, the quicker and the more decisively you're going to defeat it. You keep fucking around and fucking around, it ain't going to go away. It's just like mice. You can't do that. If you find 5 holes into your barn, you can't plug 4 of them and say, well, that ought to do her. Doesn't work like that. Just doesn't work like that.
The thing is, these Democrats aren't helping either. They're going around. The Republicans are like, fuck a mask. It's not real. It's a hoax, blah, blah, whatever they're saying. You know what I mean? The Democrats are like, wear a mask, get vaccinated. And then they got these goddamn politicians out caught time and time again at parties and celebrations with a bunch of rich assholes not wearing masks. So then the wacky QAnons, see, they know it's a hoax. That's why they don't do it. Just they got caught. Not like they're being totally irresponsible and hypocritical and they're full of shit. No, it's like, oh, it's a hoax. Everything's a hoax, man, with these people.
Yeah, including...
If they shoot up a mall, it's a false flag hoax. Anything that happens is a false flag hoax. Wow. I think we have Alex Jones and these other wackadoo fools like him to thank for that. I don't know how people follow these people.
Yeah, but like we've said on this show before, you got to go back to William Colby, former director of the Central Intelligence Agency. We will know our work has been successful when the American public believes nothing. When everything they believe is a lie or they believe nothing. That's what they consider success.
Yeah.
Well, they should be drinking some champagne then, I guess. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure the Republicans, they're going to win by a landslide. And then it's going to ping pong around for a while until one group just holds power. Like the bad way. Because in this country, we have one party. It just has two branches. I mean, Biden is useless. He's just, oh, Trump's policy was cool. Oh, Trump's policy was cool. The way Trump did it was cool. Basically, because he's doing most of the same shit. Except Trump gave us money at least. He had stimulus as we got. Biden's like, fuck, I'm here now. There's no more virus. What are you talking about? We're all saved. No more racism, no more virus because I'm here. And these assholes believe it. They eat it up. They riding with Biden, right?
Well, the 4 years of Trump was basically a poison pill anyway. I mean, the amount of money they gave away to the rich and the money that they spent on a credit card, it didn't matter who won in 2020. They were going to get stuck with this one way or another. The only difference is if the Republicans would have kept all the power, they just would have came up with these incredibly ridiculous fables to explain it all away. And all their dummies would have went along with it. You know? So, I mean, that's the only difference between the two sides of your one party down there. One of them is just flat out sociopathic. They don't give a fuck if you know what they're doing. They're doing it. You kiss my ass. That's the Republicans. The other one wants to, you know, kind of get a selfie with you before they stick the knife in your back. That's the Democrats.
Yeah, there's a cartoon, like a comic strip. It's got an airplane dropping bombs on both sides. One side says the Republicans. It's the same exact picture of the airplane.
Yep.
And then the next side says Democrats, and it's got a rainbow flag and a Black Lives Matter flag dropping the same bombs.
Yep.
But these people eat it up. That's why I've always said the Democrats throw the people a bone once in a while. So they think that's the best they can do. But I'll tell you, if you feel compelled to vote in the United States, if you're that dumb and insane that you think it's going to do any goddamn thing, then vote third party. I'm like, why vote at all? Don't vote, revote. But third party, man, that's the way to go. And I know the two parties will tell you, don't ever vote third party. That'd be throwing your vote away. Yeah, but if everyone voted third party, that'd be throwing their candidacy away.
Exactly. And this is the whole thing. And this is what I always say. The problem isn't who's running. The people you have running is because the turnout is so fucking low. If there were 80 to 90% of eligible voters turning out things would change. Because then that told these people that 4 out of 5 people are watching what you're doing instead of 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
You will be responsible now. And if you fuck up, we'll get rid of you in a hurry. Because it took all of us to put you in, all of us can take you out. Now the way it is, it's just a matter of getting out the vote is what they call it. But it's just demographic vote binging is all it really is. I mean, who would have thought the day would come that the most important thing to be done on an election day was making sure you had enough available volunteers to get the few people who will vote out to vote. That's sad.
I mean, the thing is, just like me, I'm pretty sure most people are like, I'm not going to go vote for a fascist. So that means I should not vote. Because those are my two options, basically. Fascist or fascist. Like everybody who voted in this last election for Biden or Trump, you voted for a fascist. And you support a fascist. And all the people who are cool right now, like, oh, the Democrats, or this, you're cool with kids in cages, you're cool with police militarization. I mean, goddamn, you got Biden, who wrote the Clinton crime bill, voted every war bipartisan all the way down. And Kamala Harris, who's the quote-unquote top cop in her own words. And you think, and everyone's like, defund the police. I'm screaming, abolish the police. They're like, defund the police. And then they hire these two to do it? The fuck's wrong with these people, man? The only difference between me and it's just like Obama with Biden. I hate him. The Republicans hate him. But they hate him for the wrong reasons. They call him a communist and all kind. You know what I mean? Satanist, communist. I don't care, whatever. He's not a communist for sure. I don't care if he's a Satanist. That's not even real. But what I do care is he's a fascist. He's evil. He's responsible for so many deaths. It's just disgusting. And you got Trump on the other side. Oh my God. Ultra white supremacist. It's the same thing. It's just the rhetoric's a little different. They tweak the policies to seem nicer or more harsh.
I think the only real difference when you describe it that way, and I listen to it, I think the only difference is Republican presidents make sure that a pretty small circle of people get really, really rich and get power and connections that will long outlast the time in the White House. Then a Democrat gets in and their circle of people to enrich is too big. I think that's the only difference.
It's not us they're trying to enrich. We're not in that circle.
No, but I mean, Trump was basically his family and everybody his family knew. That's it. Fuck everybody else. But you get somebody like Obama or Biden, and it's everybody who's pals with my entire cabinet. It's everybody who's on the Fed. It's everybody who's at the New York Stock Exchange. You know, they think they have this big tent of rich people. Meanwhile, Trump is a totally private club. I think that's the only difference.
Yeah. I mean, here's another issue. Biden's the president, but it seems like nobody wants to pass the blame to him. Like we were talking about before the show, all the quote-unquote progressive liberal media, like the Ring of Fire and the Young Turks and that other guy with the glasses. I don't know who all these people are. But anyway, all of them, man, look through their thing. It's Trump did this, Trump did that, Trump did this, Trump supporter, Trump, MAGA, Trump. And it's like he's not in office anymore. I listen to KPFK and it's like Trump did this and Trump did that and Trump destroyed this and Trump destroyed that and Trump. And then they'll get a call-in. Sometimes they have call-in shows. and it'll be somebody talking about Biden's just as bad, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, hangs up on him. I can't hear you anymore. It's like they just don't want to see reality, man. Even if people call in and say, or there was one saying it's about time we give Biden credit, and talking about he got judges installed or something. I don't know. It's like they just want to blame everything on Trump that's going on now and absolve Biden of everything because they're terrified they're going to get another Trump. Trump was horrible. But it doesn't mean Biden's not horrible. These people got to get off that it's one or the other. This one's good, that one's bad. Black and white, blah, blah, blah. Because, yeah, you can have two evil motherfuckers running. And every damn election I've ever seen in my lifetime, that's what they had. Two evil fascists running for office. And red people support the red one and blue people support the blue one. And when they get in office, they're totally cool with anything that they weren't cool with before. Like, look at these MAGAs, man. They should be fully supporting Biden. He's doing horrible shit. They should be loving it. He's got a cop as his vice president, like we just said. He's not defunding police. He's not doing anything. It's just they don't like the nice rhetoric. They want it blatant. And the Democrats should have just supported Trump, because the kids in cages, where are they now? Where's AOC crying on the border now? She's cool with it. Whatever. They had a dance party to try to stop eviction moratorium, trying to keep it, supposedly. I mean, you're in the fucking government, and the best you could do is go out and dance. People are fucking lunatics. Politicians, man, I don't care who you are. If you think I'm gonna fix the problem by entering the system, I'm gonna become a politician and change things, you're delusional. And I don't support you. I don't care who the fuck you are. There are no good politicians, because even if there were, they can't do anything. And everyone I've ever seen that's quote unquote good is a sellout. Eventually they sell the hell out. Remember, a lot of these Democrats, they were just like Bernie or AOC or whatever, and I don't like them either. But yeah, and they just keep moving and moving and moving. Bernie Sanders was lucky enough to keep that his supporters thinking willing to think he's a communist or socialist or whatever he claims to be that he's not. But yeah, man, it's sickening and it's insane. People need to vote third party or don't vote at all. That's the way I see it. Because it doesn't matter who gets elected. It doesn't matter. Neither party give a fuck about us. Go ahead, sorry.
You're talking about the work. I'm talking about the writing. The school of Vince McMahon says it's impossible. Like the biggest revenue generating one-day event in the world is the vote for the U.S. president. There's more money made on that single event than any other single event.
It's like a Super Bowl every 4 years.
Oh, it's the Ultra Bowl. And there's more money on the table every time. And noise is heard. Noise makes money, especially in this environment when you have outfits like Facebook who are, manipulating their users to make more money. That's the only thing they're worried about. I mean, we've seen it. How many people have come out and said it in different forums now? They had lots of warnings that this kind of content manipulation was going to have bad results. And they said, yeah, but look how much money we're making. Fuck it. Who cares? So, I mean, this is it. It doesn't matter in reality if there's much difference at all between Biden and Trump. But you have to have a heel and you have to have a face. And there we go. who knows who it will be next time? I mean, if Trump actually gets the nomination again, you might as well call him fucking Ric Flair, for Christ's sake. You know, like, you're done. Go away. Hit the fucking road. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? China. Woo! You know, because, I mean, that's what it's become. And Americans allowed it to become that. Like we've talked about before. The vote for president of the United States is 50 different votes with different rules. And they just add them up under some screwball fucking abacus method that's 200 years old.
Yeah, and then some people's votes are worth 10 or 20 or 30 times more than other people's votes.
Yeah.
It's not a democratic system in any way.
There are more people that live in LA County than 4 states combined. So where are the 8 senators for LA County? Your system's fucked. And that's why the results are so fucked. And everybody making money is making sure it stays that way.
Yeah.
But hey,
it's
America.
Just these people are so fucking just team. They're just like, go team, go team, go team. They're fans. They're just fans of their team. That's what it basically is.
Don't kid yourself, man. If there was an official jersey for the Republicans and the Democrats, they would fucking sell.
I mean, yeah, the MAGA hats did.
Yeah. But, you know, like, I mean, a uniform, like a team.
Do you think the Democrats are going to decide the jackass isn't the best animal to represent them?
Oh, no, they'll have some bucking bronco. Roar.
Yeah, man, it's just, I hate politics. I hate politicians. I wish everybody did. We'd have a better world. But yeah, these people are just stupid, man. Police aren't getting defunded. They're getting more militarized, more funded everywhere. And they're whining about it because of the protest over the summer. They're like, see, we can't do anything because we've been defunded. And none of them been defunded, but they all keep claiming. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was, talked about keeping $10 from us.
It's insane, man.
Yep.
It's fucking insane. They get just paid to do, they don't do shit. They're going on and on about all the crime happening. Now there's follow home robberies and keep an eye out on your surroundings, and crime's the highest it's ever been all over. And
bullshit.
But the police have more funding than they've ever had before. So in history, the police have never had this much funding ever, and crime's up. So maybe
they have more everything, man.
Maybe the problem isn't more or less pigs. Maybe the problem is you allowing people to starve and live in poverty. They just stop the stimulus. No more stimulus. Cut off the unemployment. End the rent. The rent moratorium. Homelessness is on the rise. People are broke, and some motherfuckers out there like, I ain't gonna be homeless. I'm gonna go get it. I got a gun. I'm gonna go get it. And there's a lot of them cats out there because it's the government's fault, man. They could have took care of the people. They could have gave us a UBI during last year. They could have done a lot of things, man, but they didn't do shit.
Well,
Trump did more, and then Biden comes in and cuts everything, stops. Everything stops.
Well, if you tie shit together from a couple different levels, the U.S. Department of Defense is kind of trying to toot their horn about the new, what they're calling some sort of infantry assault vehicle. and it's supposed to be built for the urban environment to get however many soldiers and their gear so far and so long. You know, it's supposed to be like a light assault vehicle. It's, as far as that side of it goes, it's looking like it's a piece of shit, but they're still going to buy, you know, a couple $100 million worth of them.
I mean, so defense contractors need to make money, man. Come on.
But that means all the vehicles that the National Guard and the regular army and the ones that are stationed in Korea and Germany and wherever the fuck else, they're all going to be getting moved down. So guess where a lot of them are going to end up?
Where all the other old military gear ends up, in our police stations.
You bet. And they could turn around and do what they did with a lot of the Humvees and a couple of the Bradleys, is they gifted them. But, you know, if you gift the Metro Police Department some military Humvees, all of a sudden something shows up in the budget about a bump in the maintenance costs for the fleet. You know, like there's no free lunch, man. And that's the sad thing. This kit is still good enough to use. Probably 2/3 of the armies in the world would fucking love to have this shit that the U.S. military will be trying to throw away. So, you know, I mean, they will find ways around it. If the people in charge want to maintain the authoritarian state, there's no limit to the ways they can do it. You know, you could probably defund police on paper and they would still end up with more. That's what's wrong. That's why abolish is where you need to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what my opinion's been from the get-go, man. Abolish them police. We don't need them. We need something better. If we have to have something like that, it needs to be something that doesn't just, oh, I had a traffic accident. Cool, we'll pull up with guns. My kid's having a mental crisis. Cool, we'll pull up with guns. My neighbor called for a noise complaint. Cool, we'll pull up with guns. You know what I mean? Every little thing, they come in with guns. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, we haven't been on in a while. I just wanted to say I agree with Homegirl that Margaret Thatcher was a feminist icon. I'm sorry. I just thought about that. As one of the squad members talking about Margaret Thatcher was awesome.
Yeah, that's ill-advised.
These people are scum. Every politician is scum.
To put it mildly, that is ill-advised. Fuck Margaret Thatcher.
But see, that's what I'm saying. The Republicans hate her because she's a dark-skinned and Muslim. I hate her because she thinks Margaret Thatcher is awesome.
But I mean,
the difference in our ideology. They don't hate people for the right reasons.
But that's the thing, though. There's no guarantee that that's the truth. She's saying that to play herself to a demographic that pays no attention to her. So even if it's a genuinely stupid opinion, that's not why she's saying it. She's saying it to make an inroad to a demographic that pays no attention to her.
Good luck with that.
Well, I mean, this is the way the game works. It's an opening. Take it. It's in a place like Britain, it's more obvious even. And in Canada, it's bad too. Because the idiots in our parliament that are picked to be critics in the opposition party, they speak on issues about that specific, you know, what they were picked to bitch about. And by like the shadow minister for finance It's not going to be some nobody, right? It's going to be probably their biggest shit disturber they can find, who just likes to make noise. Like this particular guy, this Canadian politician, has been likened to playing chess with a pigeon. He'll strut around the board, knock the pieces over, shit on the board, and then insist he won. And that's exactly what this guy is like. So, I mean, these games are there, and the Democrats are better at it. At least they're not always the same like the Republicans are. It seems the Republican public persona has to match an ideal that wasn't set by the people playing the role. But in the Democrats, it's kind of the opposite. It's based on the people playing the role. You know what I mean? It's a different flex. It's a different flex. And I think if you can describe that it makes sense to people, I think that's the biggest difference with the two parties in the States. That's it. It's just a method of communication.
Yeah. It's such a joke, all this political bullshit. These people eat it up, though. I don't get it. I'll never be able to comprehend that.
But, like we said before, obviously people are making money. Just like you said, all these supposed left-leaning podcasts and social platforms and shit. Yeah. They all talk about nothing but Trump.
I know why they do it. I think it's stupid, but I know why they do it. My thing is the average person who just goes and votes for one of these terrorist parties, murderous parties, warmongering parties, fascist parties. You gonna vote for one and then support what they do because they're not as bad as the other one. That's like I like this cat more than that cat because this cat only scratches me on my arm. The other one scratches me all up in my face. Why don't you just say screw both them cats?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just they're a little bit better. Let's go vote for them and support them.
But this is something that people have been taught and conditioned to accept as being okay. I mean, it took a long time and it took a hell of a lot of money to get people this muddled. And the things they do get wound up about are like the most ridiculous things there are. Again, it's kind of like what Chomsky said. You carry on this illusion of democracy with this vigorous debate that is encouraged, but the parameters, the bandwidth for that debate is so narrow, and it's over things that will never be solved. Abortion, religion. Like, these things are never going to be over. There's always going to be somebody bitching about it. And to let this go on and on and on while everything else goes on in the background, that's not a democracy.
No, definitely not. You know what I think is funny? I think it's funny when Republicans say the Democrats were the party of the Klan, so we're not racist. And then the next words out their mouth are America first, which is a Klan slogan. No, I think that because the Republicans are really worried that they're going to be called racists. One dude on right-wing radio says, look at it as a badge of honor when they call you a racist.
Who would say that except the racist?
Yeah. He's like, they're going to call you a racist. Look at it as a badge of honor. But no, the thing is, now they're like, one dude today I was listening to was saying how he doesn't want, he said America had his problems with race in the past and I acknowledge all that, but I don't want. But we've gotten over it because we no longer judge a man by the color of his skin. But he did the
Really?
MLK thing with the character of, yeah. So then he goes on in the next sentence to say, that's why I don't want my kids to be taught CRT or critical race theory in schools, because that would be judging people by the color of their skin. And I'm trying to get away from that, but these Democrats want to be racist. And and then he brought in how God or something. Yeah, they always bring God into it. God and country. There's another racist slogan for you.
Yeah, Blut und Boden. There's all kinds of.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is just it. It's, see this? It's an apple. Oh, I covered it with my hand. It's an orange now. It's just fucking ridiculous. They just take things that are like, they start out from a point where there is some sort of agreement. They'll start with something that's been pretty settled for at least a century. And then within 50 words, they're telling you how, based on that, your entire existence is under threat today. And it's like, what? But yet, people listen. People allow themselves to be manipulated by it, or entranced, or whatever it is.
This dude said something about immigrants are the problem. And this other dude jumped in. He's like, which immigrants are you referring to? He's like, because your people used to say Chinese immigrants were the problem, now you're cool. Then Irish immigrants were the problem, now you're cool. So which immigrants exactly are the problem nowadays that you assholes are complaining about? He just went down a list. He was just funny, man.
Yeah.
Like you're always bitching about immigrants. Saying you're cool with these immigrants and you hate the next immigrants. Which immigrants do you hate today? Which ones are coming for your jobs today? Which ones are going to come and slaughter your white women and children today?
Yeah. And all this does is perpetuate what has become known as white trash. And they, for now, for the foreseeable future, they still are the majority in the United States. But if you listen to them, they're going to be a minority in a couple years, but that's nowhere near true.
I don't know, man. First they blew up Christmas in a war, and now they're coming after their virgin arms. They're trying to stick needles in them with giving the mark of the beast so Satan can take over. These people are nuts.
Well, there has been some, although even if mostly insane, some fairly humorous incidents with vaccinations and such. There was a case up here in Canada of some woman who was in her 80s or early 90s. I can't really recall, but she booked a vaccination and was all, like, this is fucking stupid and whatever. And they're like, yeah, sit down. Wouldn't roll up her sleeve. She wanted the injection through her clothes. And they were like, we can't do that. Like, forget it. Well, then I'm not getting it. And then they're like, well, yes, you are. You're here. So they finally got this old woman to roll up her sleeve, and she had a piece of boneless chicken breast strapped to her arm. Because apparently she thought that would take the injection, and then she could get her vaccination status, and I'm smarter than everybody.
Yeah, the problem with these people is their whole mark of the beast thing doesn't really work in 2021. Because the thing is, you can't buy or sell or do anything. Man, it don't matter if you vaccinated or not. You can call Amazon, Uber, you can get food, you can get whatever you want brought to your house. You can work from home in many, many cases. Because these people aren't just working, and you know, a lot of these people are professional, quote unquote, people. You'd think they'd be smarter than this.
Well, they've never been tested like this. That's another thing too. I mean, extreme circumstances does bring out a lot of fucking idiocy, because you know it's almost like watching the shows you see on TV late at night with half an hour of guys killing themselves on skateboards and shit. You know, it's like, I get it. You think you're really good, but take a look at what you're going to try and do here. Do you think you're ready for that, kid? And then, whoosh. And no, they weren't ready as the ambulance pulls up.
Yeah, but when they stick it on, get it on video, it's amazing.
And that's another problem with culture, society. That risk is worth it.
That's true, but skateboarders have always done that on video. As long as there's been video, that's been their thing.
But I think there was a lot less major incidents back then, when it was just the guys who were really fucking serious, not just clowns who were trying to get a hot video.
Yeah, when they had cameras instead of phones, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
But I mean, you're right though about, nothing really changes much down there. And, but I mean, 1 week ago in the United States Supreme Court, the court refused to hear a case that would have protected the public's right to record on-duty police officers. And now it will become even harder to hold police accountable. And this was a 9-0. None of the justices dissented from this rejection of hearing this case. So what was that about? If Trump didn't load the court with Republicans? Well, what's this? So I mean, again, aren't they all the fucking same? Well, it sure looks like it sometimes. This is over a case that started in August of 2014. In 2012, the U.S. Department of Justice issued a guidance on the right to record police activity that declared that individuals have a First Amendment right to record police officers.
Yeah.
That was in 2012. In 2014 in Denver, this all started. There was a guy pulled out a camera and filmed an arrest, and the cops ended up assaulting him, taking his phone, trying to delete the video, destroying his phone, charging him, same old shit.
Yeah.
And he did get a copy of the video out to the local Fox affiliate. And then, that brings us down this road. So in the district court, he won against the cops. And it's like, this is fucking bullshit. But they appealed to the 10th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals, and they threw it out. And the 10th Circuit said cops are entitled to qualified immunity. So Denver has been instructing its officers since 2007 that the public has a right to film them. But the 10th Circuit declared that whatever training the officers received concerning the nature of Mr. Frazier's First Amendment rights was irrelevant to the clearly established law inquiry. Like they just said, yeah, well, we don't care. We're not gonna punish the cops. That's it. That's what it comes down to.
That's the problem. They do care. People that are politicians and judges and people who influence laws and lawmakers are usually pretty, how high status. You know, they're not poor people.
Yeah.
So they're like, the police are there to protect me and people like me. So I need to kind of kiss their ass and throw them a bone, because when these peasants come at me, those police will surround my house and use every weapon and man hour they have and helicopter and war machine to protect me. That's where
See,
it's at.
I think we just stumbled across another difference here for the minute difference between Republicans and Democrats. With the Republicans, you get what this is. Just fuck off. We're not going to hear your case. Tough shit. But if it was Democrats, then, you know, it would be, well, every once in a while, somebody has to be, quote unquote, convicted and given some, you know, bogus little penalty. And we thank them for being a good team player. And then we hope that some of the police departments aren't so obviously ignorant and get themselves into trouble like this. That's the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. Democrats, somebody random will pay every once in a while. And you should have known better. Republicans? No, fuck, we got you. Don't worry about it.
When Derek Chauvin, the pig that murdered George Floyd, got convicted, a bunch of people all over were screaming, finally, justice, finally, we're holding police accountable. Like that was it. Now it's all good, right? Yeah. And a bunch of us were saying this is not going to make any difference. You and me were saying they're just throwing you a bone right here. Yep. They're just giving you a sacrificial lamb so y'all can shut the fuck up.
Yep.
This isn't changing anything. Turns out we were right. Hate to say it, but I told you so.
Well, it was tactical. There was no change in the strategy at all, despite that guilty verdict. It was tactical. Like you said, it was throw a bone, and it also turned the temperature down in a hurry. Just like we said, that nothing would change, but Joe's in now. Everything's fine.
Yeah. The guy who helped militarize these police over the past 40-something years.
Well, everybody said that Gerald Ford earned his presidency because of the work he did on the Warren Commission, which took care of the JFK assassination. Well, that kind of makes sense. So why do you think Biden got his?
History's always repeating itself in some weird little way.
Well, it could be, yeah. You know, just putting it out there.
I mean, similar things going on all the time throughout history. Because, I mean, we're humans and we're stupid mammals and we don't learn a lot and sometimes we just do things. Anyway, I'm looking at these extensive notes that took me about 14 hours to write for today's show.
Okay.
I don't know. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, most people probably don't understand that we're just kind of winging it right now. We didn't even have anything set up, and we did this. We're awesome. Yeah, no, I didn't have any topics coming in today's show. What?
I had fun in the chat by myself.
Oh, look at you in the chat. I didn't even look in there. Here, I'll type something. There you go.
Oh, hey!
The chat is live.
Oh, yeah.
No, you know what I didn't do? I forget sometimes. Like, I didn't promote the show today.
Oh, well.
I got to get better at this like I used to do it. I used to have more time than I currently have, so there's that. But yeah. I'll try to, for you, Glenn, and to all our billions of viewers, I'll try to be more, at least have some stuff prepared before the next show or two. I mean, I could spend an hour throughout a week putting something together. So that's what I'm going to try to do. No promises, but I'm going to try. Try is the key word there.
Yeah, well, that sounds like production, so...
I know, you're just talent, right?
Yeah, I just phone in and I talk. That's all I do.
You're the talent. Well, I mean, what about all the cameras?
What cameras?
You don't see the cameraman around you in the studio right here?
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
I just took a dab. Oh, you know what we got to do? That just reminded me. We got to do the sponsors, and then we can end the show. We could just shoot the show and end it. You want to do sponsors, Glenn?
All right, you got to go first.
Okay, hang on. I forgot the volume was over on the other side. So hang on, let me get this down. There we go. So yeah, I gotta look. I don't even know what the hell this is. Shoot. Today I am dabbing on. Dang, I can't see it. It's dark. Oh, Shoctane live resin diamonds. And the herb I've been smoking, the flower, has been SFVOG again because I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this Shoctane live resin diamonds, it's awesome.
Outstanding.
What do you want, Glenn?
The last little while, been back and forth with a couple different types of flour. Wedding cake, some really good wedding cake. Yeah, great taste. For the last little bit, though, because it's been drying out, so I want to, concentrate on it while it's still effective. Get some really nice shishka berry. And it's the first time I've had the shish, but the older it gets, the more purple it tastes. It's not too bad.
What is this? Sativa hybrid?
It's actually indica dominant.
Oh wow! What's it mixed with?
Yeah, I should.
Oh, you don't know?
Not offhand. I mean, it'll just take me.
We can all look it up on Strain Finder. Oh.
This can't take long. What do we got? Yes, I'm old enough to be here. Fuck off.
Canada, everyone's old enough.
Well, not really. Where does it say what it's made with?
I'm going to Leafly. Are you on Leafly?
I'm on some other shithole. Indica dominant 80-20.
DJ Short, Blueberry, and Afghani.
Yep.
Nice. Wow, it was just the name made me think maybe it was a sativa. That sounds good. I'm gonna look for some of that.
It seems to be more popular with online sellers in Canada the last little bit, but we've talked about that before too. It seems there's product waves that come through. First it was all the blue strains, and then it was all the purple strains, then it was all the glue strains, and then Miracle Alien cookie strains.
Purple strain, purple strain.
Trending.
Oh man. So yeah, let's end this, Glenn, because I wouldn't be listening still if I was somebody listening.
All right.
Plus the music stopped. So yeah, thank you, Glenn. I'll get my shit together and do better next time. And thank you for whoever's listening. And we'll see you next week or something. Let me end this.